My name's Chris. This is Capri's Garage. This is Project Xpack, episode 60. In this one, we're going to drive this thing 1,300 miles. Is it possible? Probably not. Is it going to break down? Most likely. Is it going to be fun? Yes. This is now Tuesday evening. I have a few more bits and pieces of final touches to do to this thing to get it creature comforts fitted more than anything at this stage, to get it ready for a lot of driving. Tuesday night, at the moment, I have got tomorrow to get this thing finished off, and then Thursday morning at 6 AM I set off for England. For those of you that aren't aware of my lovely accent, I am from Northern Ireland, so that involves getting a ferry over into Scotland and driving the whole way from Scotland right down to the very bottom of England. So it's going to be fun. Before I go, as I said, some creature comforts to do, practical bits and pieces that just are going to make the road trip a lot handier and a lot more pleasant for me in the cabin. First of all is going to be this rear firewall thingy that I need to fit. It's not actually a firewall because there's no fuel tank in the boot, but for all means and purposes it is a firewall. It's going to be a separation between the boot area and the back seats, which aren't there either. If you want to know any more about this project, there should be a card pop up somewhere at the top right. There. Click it, have a look, familiarise yourself with the project, and yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, new day. This is now the Wednesday, the day before the trip. I have done a wee bit more at the whole firewall that's not a firewall thing. Now I'll leave the light on. So it now sort of will stop the most of the stuff sliding forward. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a complete firewall sort of thing, but yeah, it's definitely a bit better. It means I can put a toolbox up against it and it'll not do any harm. The next stage, I think I'm going to trim off the two lower pointy bits, put sound deadening material on it and wrap it in carpet. Then after that's done, I can start packing the boot, put the spare wheel and stuff in, basically start ready for going. The rest of the stuff's all sort of desirables at this stage, so it can wait. Okay then, as per usual, I have to be carried away and went on ahead, but partial shelfie thing slash, I don't know what I was calling it, firewall thing, it's now in, and to help you see it a little bit better, ta-da! I now have some ambience in the boot area. I carried away with some LED strip, but anyway, it means I can now see what I'm looking for at night time, whenever inevitably it is raining and it's dark and I'm at the side of the road looking for a specific tool. So yes, that should hopefully help the whole show. It's on the boot light switch as well, so obviously works on that. I've also stolen from the wife's car a battery cover just to try and keep the terminals protected if it's floating about in the boot. I have an inverter in behind in there. Don't know if you can see it or not, but I've left a 4-gang poking out through into the car that I can plug my laptop charger or whatever into, and I don't have to go into the boot all the time to get at the inverter. The next stage, I think, is to try and get the spare wheel in. Start from the bottom, pack the boot out, see what room I have. Probably should show you this from this side. Very black in here. No, but it definitely does improve the whole show. I would like to get more LED lighting if possible around one of the roll cage legs. for a bit of interior lightage in here, but for now this will do. Yes, time to start packing. So, as you can see, I chose the biggest jack known to actual man to put into the boot, but I figured that if it was going to be land underneath it, it might as well be high. I've got my petrol, some coolant, and a crate to put all my other stuff in. I have my socket set, spanners, all my wire and stuff, associated pliers, spanners. I've got all my fluids in the red crate in case of leak, and the tow rope. So yes, pretty well prepared for every eventuality. Just as well really, because I had to set off at the actual scrape of dawn to get to the ferry, and here begins the road trip. So, I have made it to the Lake District in one piece. Haven't broken down just yet. I'm going to try and just check this thing over, check the wheels are tight, check the fluid levels, just check to see if there's many leaks, see if it's got any worse, and go from there. So far, nothing seems to have fallen off anyway. You can see just how heavy they breathe. How much they breathe rather. Now bear in mind, I don't know if there's actually a good filter or not in that cap, but it is quite heavy. I'm gonna say I'll check that, but I think it's already. Nope, there we go. Let's check it for water and stuff while I'm here. Fine, happy days. Come on. One downside to putting turbos on up here. Still good for oil. Let's just see how big the puddle is. Happy days, there is none. Tiny wee bit maybe there, but that's a bonus. So I have another maybe 150, 160 miles to do today. I'm heading down to Shrewsbury to stay with some family, and then making the rest of the onwards trip tomorrow down to Cornwall if all goes to plan. I'm enjoying it so far. I have not been on a road trip properly in over 2 years now, with my older Capri getting crashed and stuff. So I'm really enjoying getting back into the swing of things and getting behind the wheel of a Capri again. I'm gonna give this thing a bit of a wipe down because it is stinking. Okay, sit rep. We're currently on the M6. Traffic, accident, something up ahead is causing 20 minutes delay, so currently moving again, but the temperature's thankfully coming back down. You might be able to see the red bar along the bottom of the dash with the red light on. The temperature spiked there at 101. I don't know what is too high, I have no idea. I just set that randomly, that number. But it didn't go really above that, to be fair. So I might need to invest in a bigger fan at some stage, because it is currently trying to draw air through an oil cooler, an intercooler and a radiator. But we're currently back down again now to 98. The red light's off. So yeah, I mean, like, I was sitting still in the baking hot sun for 25 minutes or so I don't think overall it's too bad. But whenever you're currently, I've managed to get into the outside lane now, but whenever you're sitting in the inside lane, whenever you're sitting in the outside lane and traffic's completely stopped and you can just see the temperature rising, yeah, you start to panic a little bit. But things are starting to come back down again now. I'm wondering, was this the culprit? Camper van broken down maybe? I had the heater on full to try and keep the temperature down a bit, but I am absolutely cooked right now. But back out into the outside lane just in case we'll stop again. People beep the horn and give me attention while stuck in traffic, trying to shout over, say hello. If there's anybody watching this, apologise if I seemed rude. I was currently trying to worry about my car not overheating. But yes, thank you anyway if there was anybody on here. Here we go, here's the accident, wherever it's wrong. Fire! Vauxhall's wet in fire, people. Okay, so we have reached nearly Shrewsbury, probably about another 25-30 minutes to go before we get there. All seems to be going good so far, no major issues. I didn't actually realise how low the back of this thing sat fully loaded. I probably need to wind the coilovers up really for going home, but at this stage I just don't want to get there really. Car so far, as I said, has performed faultlessly. Couple of scrapes in the exhaust and stuff going over speed bumps, but apart from that I'm very happy with how it's going. Yeah, onwards to my final stop for the evening, and that will be 306 miles done today. So yeah, time to get going again. So everybody, how's your morning going? Mine's going just great, thanks. Oh, morning. It's the next day now after I've been staying over at my brother-in-law's place for the night. Come out to find, well, it wasn't quite as bad as that. It was sort of there. but turns out the bottom Jubilee clip on one of the bottom hoses down there, I thought, oh good, just tighten it. Whenever I did that, of course, it slipped and wherever it's at. There. Wrecked the threads and just started skipping on me. So thankfully I brought spares. So it's now on and tight. So it's time now to start repacking the boot. Looks worse than it is really. Just a couple of boxes to put back in and hopefully I'm ready to go. I put the steering wheel back on too right enough. But yes. Anyway, get packed up and hit the road. So, first person along the convoy has turned up, Daniel. This somehow was jammed in between his fuel lines. I don't know how he got away with that, like in between the pressure and return. I'll put a picture up on the screen to show just how lucky he actually was that it didn't pierce anything, but I don't know where he picked it up. But anyway, sorted now. We have about a 2.5 hour drive now to get down to Exeter, where we're meeting another 3 people if all goes to plan. So hopefully get a bit of footage of the 2 of us going down the road if the GoPro decides it wants to work. And yeah, it's a nice day so far. Time to get going. So we've had some overheating issues. Daniel's fan, his electric fan on the radiator is packed in. Even when you put permanent live to it on earth, it doesn't spin. So it's not ideal on a roasting hot day in the middle of traffic on the M5 or whatever it is we're on. Too many M's over here. Here we go, we're stopping again. So we're sort of playing middle lane bingo at the minute because to be able to pop into the other lane, and go into the hard shoulder if needs be at any given moment if he overheats again. Between us have got to be 15 litres of water with us, so just keeping an eye on the temperature gauge at this stage, and if it gets too hot we'll pull over, let it cool down, fill up and repeat. We're on this fancy split level motorway thing coming down into Weston somewhere, I think. And we're about 60 miles out of Exeter. So you can still see Daniel behind me in the rearview mirror, so that must mean he's okay for now. I forgot how much I hate sitting in traffic in one of these things. Although I'm considerably more enjoying it more than I would say Daniel is right now. Probably doesn't help that Daniel blocked his heater matrix off as well. So we can't even put the heater on to get rid of excess heat. Come on Daniel, sort your life out. I still don't understand how a 3-way motorway this big can slow down because nothing. So, made it to Exeter, met up with the rest of the lads. So currently it's myself, Jordan Jamieson, Alex Barnes, Thomas Gilly and Daniel Dercott. Jordan in front at 1 point, leading. So I'm gonna head down towards Cornwall direction and hopefully catch up at the far end where we're all parked together. from inside the cabin of the Xpack. We were going to go for a bit of a photo shoot this morning at the airfield, but Garricott has done a Derricott and we think seized the engine again. So, although the funny thing is all the oil's in it this time, he hasn't lost any oil, so we don't know what's happened. We're going to take it back to the workshop and strip it down. We took the cam cover off to see if it was top end and we couldn't see anything obvious. So yeah, take it back, take the timing belt off and see if the camshafts can turn, because the engine's completely locked up. If you try and turn it with a bar, it doesn't turn. If you try and rock the car in fifth, it nearly tears the engine mounts off, so it's properly locked. There was a rattle which then went like an Uzi machine gun sort of a thing, and then just bang, engine stopped. So yeah, between the 5 of us and the amount of tools that we have, if we can get the parts, we should hopefully be able to rebuild it. Think of it as an added challenge, but yeah, we'll have to see how that goes, because trying to find parts in the middle of Cornwall on a Saturday afternoon could be challenging at best. So yeah, anyway, I will leave you to it and we'll catch up whenever we're back at the workshop, if we make it back to the workshop, because this is some true Cornish roads. Fair play to Thomas for towing him, but yeah, anyway, see you in a bit.
Oh no! Oh!
I'm relying on his brakes too.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, why did you set the drone up the hoggle there for the next 20 minutes?
Look at this YouTube content.
I think Chris sabotaged.
Chris is rubbing his hands together now. He's been pouring sand sawdust in your oil overnight.
To be fair, yeah, I did see Chris walk around with a handful of washers last night. And a spark plug spanner, which was odd.
Bit of sand in the filler hole, just.
So you ain't got sugar in the fuel tank as well there, mate?
Yeah.
I don't remember what tube is it.
To be fair, there might have been awkward silences unless I was here, you know, like, with a broken engine.
Did we not already surpass expectation when Daniel actually made it here?
Yeah, I said I was getting here, I never said when I was getting back.
Yeah. So
I'm just living in Cornwall from now on.
What's that full extension?
It's a new Australia, right?
Okay, so you join us as Daniel's car has no engine. Daniel's engine has no bits. It is stripped. Let's see. You can see the crank isn't in a good way, really. That one's not too bad. It sort of survived. It spun this one. Shells are here. You can see they're not good. So, yeah. We have a bit of investigation to do to see the cause of it. We think this engine, the same rods as the last time it blew up. We've lost count now, really. And I think they went oval, so that's why it's sort of, they've overheated on it and just, yeah, done this. But we're not going to be beaten. We have a Pinto out of a stock car, complete. So we're intending to try and get a Pinto, hot rod Pinto, fit it into this tonight, running on a carb, and have this thing driving, what's 300 or 400 miles home? Yeah, about 400 miles home tomorrow on the first journey out. So, yeah, it'll be fun. So, I don't know how much videoing will be done, because it's going to be a late one. It's already 8:15 and we haven't even started putting an engine in. So last night we were working on Daniel's car until 3 a.m. So, yeah, we'll get going.
Right, I think you need the earth connected to even think about getting us. There you go. No, hell of a spark now.
Up there was loose as well. It was arcing out of there.
Yeah, that's a hell of a spark. That's a big spark. It coil works well. So now we need.
There's nothing wrong with points.
Just gotta connect your coil.
Yeah. So now we just need to fuel, isn't it? Oh, he's got fuel. Ready to burn the freaking thing down. No stopping Chris then. Oh yeah, yeah.
When you record, they never start first.
We got wait. Have we got a fire extinguisher in hand?
Just take the funnel thing off.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we Oh, I know it's one Daniel's boot, isn't it? Yeah. Someone just has to hold that. Chris, you got that one on? Just in case it explodes. Oh, no. Yes.
Right, I'm all loaded up again.
You videoing?
I am. Do you want?
Do you want me don't zoom that much?
Anyway, that will be censored out.
Video when you're talking to me.
Anyway, after I was so rudely interrupted, I'm now loaded up and ready to hit the road.
It's all about 1 pixel, that was.
Check. Apparently we've got no fan. I was going to say we're ready to go, but we've no fan apparently, so.
Oh, mate, speak there, someone did unplug something now.
Derek Cock has broken down again. Derek Cock's broken down again. Back in time in 5 minutes.
This is not going well for Derek Cock.
There you go, move. Free petrol.
We need to push it.
Hello, you join me here in post-production, sitting back home in Northern Ireland in my office, because I might have forgotten to record the audio on this section. But anyway, I left Cornwall on the Sunday evening after Daniel had broken down approximately 15 times within a mile. The decision was made that Daniel was going to stay behind with a few others to try and get his car running on the Monday morning. The problem was with the points and the coil setup. Basically, it was a 9-volt coil that we had laying around, and whenever we were firing 12 volts at it, it was melting the points. So they stayed behind and got him sorted on the Monday morning when the parts stores opened, and yeah, I had to hit the road because I had 600 and something miles to do before the ferry the next night. On the way home, the car drove lovely for a couple of hours and then started to get worse. Basically, it was off a few cylinders, well, it felt like it was, and it was down on power. I've since figured out, I think, that it might be a blocked swirl pot. I blew it out and changed the fuel pump, and it seemed to help a good bit. I only realised this whenever I put fuel in and it got better. So yes, that's something to look at another day. It didn't stop me, but it's definitely something to check out to get it back onto all 6 cylinders for me. The drive home was pretty uneventful. There was a few bits of traffic, but again, the temperature didn't rise, oil pressure stayed good, all the rest of the car held itself together, and I managed to get to the ferry about 3 hours early, so just missed the early boat, but nonetheless I got there. Yes, you can see the weather had picked up again by this was the Monday afternoon, I think, this footage, so the weather picked up again. It was raining a good bit of the weekend, but at least the drive there and back was lovely and dry and sunny. Okay, so we're now back in Belfast. I'm sitting in the boat, or in the car rather, in the boat, in the very belly of the ship. I've never been down this far before. It's questionable whether I'll be able to get up the ramp to get back out. It was like this. But anyway, so far I've made it back this far. I've done 1,200 odd miles, and let this lady speak. What she said. So inconsiderate. But anyway, car has performed very well. I wouldn't say faultlessly. There's been a few different bits and pieces that has gone wrong over the weekend, but none were big enough to stop me actually doing 1,200 miles. I don't want to celebrate prematurely, but I've only got maybe 20 or 30 miles now to do on the far side, and I'm in my own country again, so that's a bonus. Yeah, going to probably take a day or two to chill, see the family, and then I'll get this edited. I suppose not really no need to tell you that because you'll see it when it's out, but yeah, I am knackered after a few days of 1200 miles driving in this. Yeah, thanks for coming along with me on this trip, folks. It was something that started off as a joke in a group chat maybe a year ago, and because of lockdown and the fact that nobody was actually able to get out and about, everybody sort of wanted something to look forward to, so we finally decided to say YOLO, and we all booked it off work. I booked the ferry, and yep, it happened. I'm very glad it did happen, and I think now it might become a yearly fixture. There's talk of next year maybe heading to Wales, doing a road trip up through the mountains, camping, and we're not allowed to bring any spare engines, Daniel. But speaking of Daniel, I've just seen the group chat. He has made it home on a stock car Pinto that we put together at 3 or 4 a.m. in a shed in North Cornwall, and he's driven it 300 miles home. So if that doesn't end the video on a high note, I don't know what does. For a car that spun the big ends and was out of action, we thought dead, to have it completely rebuilt in less than 24 hours with an engine conversion, running on a carb with a hot rod Pinto in it. Yeah, great weekend. Thanks for coming along with me, folks. If you've liked what you've seen and you want to see more of these mad things, then do hit the subscribe button, give the socials a like, check out the website, the link should be at the top right. Get yourself some merchandise over there, and leave a comment in the video just to let me know what you liked or didn't like, or what you want to see in the future. For now, I'm going to go home. I'm going to put the feet up for a day or two and chill, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.